Update 0.7.0. Welcome back to another Bit Legend video, fellas. We are going to jump right into it, and we're going to slowly walk through basically all the things. Hopefully I don't forget anything. I got the notes right in front of me. So the first thing that you're seeing is that they have expanded the battle pass to 70. I hope this continues to expand, but it is progress in the right direction. And the one new thing that you're noticing here is you're seeing ancient shards. So if you destroy fragments, which I think I've got a fragment I can show you guys. If you destroy fragments like this one, so let's do that now, you will get some ancient shards. So we destroyed one fragment, we got 2 of these, and then I'll show you the exchange over here on what the recipe looks like. Dun dun dun. We're getting there. Here we go. So this is what you get. There is a Q8 box. There is a Q9 box. To my knowledge, the Q8 box has mythics from Raid 5, and the Q9 box only has mythics from Raid 6. I want to be very clear on that. I'll actually show you what a box looks like because I already bought one, but I didn't open it yet. They only have mythics from Raid 6. So you very well might want to consider keeping any fragments that you have from Raid 7 and Raid 8, and I will show those items because they were updated. But you probably want to hang on to those and then just use your Raid 6 ones for this. But I'll show one of these boxes a little bit later. You need 200 for the Q9 box. You need 100 for the Q8 box. I would probably just skip and save it for the Q9 box. And then other stuff here, they've changed the bait. I'm not going to talk about that too much. They wanted to change their bait system. So what they're doing is they're giving you a way that you can exchange this bait that's supposedly no longer going to be used. You can get a bunch of gold. There you go. I wasn't really big on fishing. Some people were doing a ton of fishing, getting a little bit of energy. If you look at the fishing rank rewards, it looks like there's just tons and tons of points on there. But if you do the math and figure out how much energy the people that were doing fishing a lot were getting, it wasn't a really big advantage. So I wouldn't get too excited about it. But I am seeing, one of my buddies said that you can't exchange nugs for cores, but I can totally see that, and I'll talk to him in a second. So somebody told me that this was gone. Oh, maybe it's this way. Maybe you can exchange nugs for everything except for lost core. So maybe that's what he's talking about. So here, I'm not going to do it. It's kind of confusing a little bit. Which way is it going? So here I know that I'm exchanging these materials for the box. So I guess this means you're exchanging nugs for these, and I guess you can exchange these for nugs. So no, maybe it's working fine. Let's do some testing here. Is this going to give me a nugget, or is it going to give me cores? I think it's going to give me cores. Would you like to exchange multi-core right? I'm getting nuggets. Yeah, it's fine. I'll talk to my buddy. But I have no use for these lower cores, so now this gives you a recipe where I'm getting a bunch of nuggets, dude. This is awesome. I had no use for these lower cores. And now I do. So I like that a lot. Hey, we just learned something. We learned it together, folks. So I can get, oh, there we go. I can get nuggets. I can't go the other way. And then here, this is how it was originally. You could exchange nuggets and you can get lost cores. And I think that's what's preferable for most players. So there you go. Did I miss anything? All right, let's go and show you what that box looks like because I have one of them. I don't know if I'm going to use it. We'll figure that out in time. Let's click on this. And like I told you, you can get any of the raid boss mythics from Raid 6. And they have updated these items. If you like the changes, hang on and just wait a minute. If you dislike the changes, say, hey, I want the weapon the way it was when I first got it. Which will be a bigger factor when I show you the Raid 8 stuff. Don't panic. Do not panic. The devs are working on it. We talked about this. If you had items that you liked the way they were, don't worry. The devs ain't going to do you like that. They're not going to do you dirty. Just stay tuned. This video basically is going to be a little bit of a snapshot of what 070 looks like. Heads up for announcements, heads up for the next update. We'll talk about it as we talk about it. But anywho, if you had this item before, you're probably very happy. I don't remember exactly what it had before, but they did add these set bonuses on here. And originally when the dungeons were designed, the boss mythics were supposed to be sets, but the devs didn't have the sets pinned down just yet. Sets only recently came into the game. And so the thought process was, well, we intended these to be sets originally. Let's make them sets now. And that's why it's a little bit confusing that this mythic item has set bonuses. So don't worry, that idea is going to continue to evolve and they're going to figure something out. It's possible. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about what's possible. Just wait for the announcement. But at the moment, you are happy if you have these weapons. And this is one of the key weapons I talked about in the meta video. People are using this on Raid 8, and they're using it on the guild boss as well. And then let's just take a look at the other items. I think hit points percentage is new here. I'm not 100% certain. But anywho, if you have the materials, and if you had some iffy gear and you're waiting on guild boss gear that's probably not going to come because you're a DPS player fighting with 25 other people to get the same items, if you can, you should get these. If it's replacing like epics and legendaries and stuff, you should get these. You should wear these. They are really good. This is going to boost you in guild boss a ton. You're going to help your guild a ton. This had block. I don't know if it always had block. I do have old raid videos that should run through all this stuff. And then of course in the info item channel in the Discord, we do have pictures of these things for kind of historical purposes at this point, but stay tuned. If you don't like the changes to the items, feel free to put some suggestions, be respectful and all that, but it's possible that this idea is going to continue to evolve. That's the conversation. But anywho, let's go back, and I just want to double check and click through here and make sure that all these things show the same that I just showed you. So all that is the same. Now let's talk about Raid 7. I haven't really looked at these. Again, in my video, it showed you what my Raid 7 video, we walked through all these, and you can see what everything had before there. But now, of course, the set edition is the same. I don't know if these items have changed. I think they have, but they're individual bonuses. So just heads up for changes in this space. Don't freak out quite yet. We got your back. We're advocating for you. And then here, I know these items very well. This used to have 5% crit, and now it's got all this other stuff. They're going back and they're using the damage mitigation term again. I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But they've also added on some like tanky defensive bonuses here. 8% absorb is massive, but more hit point percent bonus is not really what I'm looking for. And then here, this used to have 5% crit. Vashir has this thing fully upgraded and refined 11 times. I know Winkleman's has this as well. Do not panic. I've talked to those guys personally. Don't panic. The devs ain't going to do you dirty. Just stay tuned. And hopefully some announcements and whatnot will come out. They need some time. The dev team has been working 20 hours to get this 070 update out. And you don't want to make hasty changes and things like that when you're stretched thin. So just stay tuned. Announcements are coming. We'll continue to develop this idea. But it used to have 5% crit. Now it's got all this on there. And then, of course, the tanky bonus. Let's go back into the next one. I thought this one had 2.5% damage mitigation on it. Now it's got hit point bonus. I have not been shy about saying that tanks don't really want a bunch of hit point bonus. We want to take less damage instead of having more health, because more health just means you got to get healed more, and you can still get crushed if you're getting hit for 1 billion damage. It's nice to have, but it's definitely a secondary kind of situation. So there's the bonuses there, and then here, hit points and absorb. So on one hand, it's nice to see that they're adding tank stuff into the game. This isn't necessarily the way that I would suggest doing it, but again, we're talking about it. We're talking about it, folks. So, hey, hang on to those fragments. If you have these items, don't freak out and destroy them or do anything weird, just like that. We will look into the Kung Fu talents. I do want to make a correction there. In the Kung Fu video, I said or insinuated, or whatever word you want to use, that the emergency shield is going to be reduced to a 0 SP cost, because that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be reverted back to the 0 SP cost, and it has not. Instead of reverting to that 0 SP cost, they've decided to boost it from 35% to 50% and make it usable twice per battle. So if you're a DPS player and you got a lot of speed and you're getting a lot of turns in, that's fine for you. One of the benefits of this skill, if you're a Kung Fu master, is that you don't have to use the upheaval sword or some shielding weapon. You'll always have this as an option, regardless of whatever weapon that you use in the future. So that's kind of nice. If you're a tank, you still have the problem that you're probably not going to have a chance to use this skill before the battle is probably over. So I just did a ton of guild boss, and while I don't have this skill yet, and I might get it in the future, but when I was doing guild boss 4, I've still only got 3.6 thousand total sets, but when I was doing Guild Boss 4, half of my team was dead before my tank ever even got 1 SP. So having this ability would have done nothing for me. But that's very specific. That's me. I'm a tank that doesn't have a lot of speed and agility. I still think reducing it to a 0 SP cost would have been better than increasing the value of the shield. In fact, I mean, if they made it usable twice per battle, 0 SP cost, and then kept the shield value the same, I think that would have helped the maximum number of players. And, I mean, it's still improvement. Give it some time. Test it. Like I said, when I cap damage reduction with items, when I have like a little bit of excess, I can get rid of some of the damage reduction talents and get this instead. And it'll be worth the 1 point investment at that time. But I think if you're a tank, you're in the same situation. You will not be able to use this skill when you need it. But for DPS players, it's cool. You can use it twice. And it gives you some variety. That means that not every single player needs to use a shield saber for the team. But I gotta say, obviously I'm gonna like my suggestions because it was my suggestion. But hey, at least we're seeing some improvements here. I'm not gonna talk too much about the other changes. This got boosted. It was supposed to go to 70%. It looks like it's gonna go to 75%. Maybe they did say 75%. So this is interesting. I talked about it in the previous video. I'm not gonna rehash that here. Check out the Kung Fu video. I thought Storming was the one that was gonna get increased. It's from 5 to 10%. There was one that we couldn't find out. It was like mana something. I'm not going to spend all day looking for it. But there was some sort of like mana something that... Yep, this one. Oh, okay, this is the one that got changed. Interesting. This used to be 5%, now it's going to be 10%. I'm going to be honest, I don't think that we're going to notice this as a tank. If you're a healer, you're getting some free shields, that's kind of cool. But if you're in this line anyways, if you're a healer or a DPS, you're probably going to get emergency shield anyways, and you're going to be shielding your team. So if you're a tank, I've said it 100 times, you don't get a lot of turns in, so you're not going to see a ton out of this. But hey, it's better than nothing. It is a buff. And for all the other stuff, just check out the Kung Fu video. What else? There is a new thing. This is the investment thing they were talking about, Wasteland Investor. So 400, 500, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200, 2,000, 3,000. That is just under 10,000 gems. That's 9.5 thousand gems. So probably good gem value if you're into buying gems as far as the cost. And I'm assuming this is player level. So if you get this and then you hit level 100, you can collect all the subsequent gems. So there you go. It's another thing to do. There is the haircut NPC. Let's go talk to him. So if you want to come over here, you want to change your looks. I don't even remember setting my looks when I was in game. How many of these? You get four of these? So that's cool. And then here, there's your various hair colors. Dude, there's 18. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm always amazed what they can do with pixel art. See if there's anything I really like. This one looks super pale, like he's a zombie. I dig it. Green hair. How many colors? 4 colors. He looks like a streamer online. It's fun. All right, pretty cool. And it does take gems. 50 gems. 50 gems is pretty cheap. So I think that's cool. Nice little functionality. I'm sure a lot of people will like that. What else? I think we pretty much did it. We talked about the codes. That was a big part of this one. The font has, of course, been changed. I'm getting used to it pretty quick. They're probably going to make the number font bigger because, you know, you want to be able to read how much gold you have and all that. What else? I think we nailed it, boys. Talents are talked about in the talent videos. Go attack your guild boss. Yeah. Go attack your guild boss, fellas. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. As always, I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.